Browns off to Seattle to face the Seahawks on Sunday. 4 o'clock kick here, local time in Cleveland. Of course, the game in Seattle at 1 o'clock. Mary Kay, let's do our 3 things to watch. Start us off.
Well, I'm going to start with P.J. Walker. He's going out there to start his second game of the season. The last time he actually started a game, the Browns beat the 49ers 19-17. Then, of course, he comes in off the bench, has that dramatic game-winning touchdown drive against the Colts to help beat them 39-38. So he's off to a great start so far, even though it hasn't always been pretty. His name is attached to these victories. So they need him to go out there. And I think the most important thing for P.J. Walker is to not turn the ball over. He's a gunslinger. He likes to take his shots, likes to take his chances, but he's got to cool it just a little bit and play smart football.
Ashley, what are you watching?
Yeah, I'm really curious about how the running game is going to look like in this one, actually on both sides of the football. But let's start with the Browns. We know Kareem Hunt doesn't have an injury designation, so he will play in this game. He's been dealing with that thigh injury since last week, still managed to play against the Colts, of course. And Jerome Ford is the big news of the day. He was back out at practice. He's been dealing with an ankle sprain, but surprisingly, I think for a lot of people, he made it out there and actually looked pretty good in those drills in the early portion of practice we watched. Now, the Seahawks have been dealing with some injuries of their own. It sounds like from reports it's maybe unclear if Kenneth Walker is going to be able to play in this one. I know Zach Charbonnet, their rookie running back, has been practicing, but also has a hamstring injury, I think it is. So definitely, I think the run game in this one is kind of unknown a little bit on both sides, but for the Browns, I think it's definitely trending in the right direction with their guys at least.
Okay, I'm going to watch Myles Garrett. This could be the Myles Garrett follow-up game. These are the sorts of games where if you start to stack them, you start to get that Defensive Player of the Year buzz. So let's see Myles encore to his historic game from Sunday in Indianapolis when he had 2 strip sacks. He blocked a field goal. It was the first time since at least 1990 that someone had had a game like that. So what is Myles going to follow that up with on Sunday against Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks? So my pick for this game, after all of that, I still think I'm going to take the Seahawks. I think this is a big ask for the Browns to go there and win with P.J. Walker again in one of the toughest stadiums to play with in the NFL. It's almost like a college environment there. It's so loud. Now, look, this defense and Myles Garrett are good enough to win this game, so I'm going to pick a close score. I'm going to say Seattle 20, Browns 17. Ashley, what about you?
Dan, I think our rationale is very similar, as are our scores. I'm going, I think, very close to you here. I'm going to go Seahawks 23, Browns 21, and it's been really hard for me to get a feel on this game. Even today, I'm not all that confident. I joked on the podcast about this. I'm going to make the same joke here. I picked the Seahawks, so that probably means the Browns are going to pull off the upset at this point.
Yeah, it's probably good news for Browns fans that Ashley and I have both picked the Seahawks to win this game. Mary Kay, where are you going?
You know what? It's going to be a clean sweep again by us. I am going Seahawks, but once again, I really do have a feeling that the Browns defense can go out there, especially if Kenneth Walker doesn't play. I think Geno Smith can be prone to the turnover, and now all of a sudden the defense has started taking the ball away, which is what they really needed to do. So, I think they can make it happen, but there is still a part of me that wonders, can you keep the P.J. Walker train rolling along? So I am picking the Seahawks to win this game in part because of that environment that you guys talked about, and I'm going a little bit higher scoring than it probably will be, but I'm saying Seahawks 27, Browns 21.
We got to stop doing this. We got to stop all picking the same things here. Still a lot of games to pick, and of course we'll cover all of those, but first we're going to cover this one in Seattle at cleveland.com/Browns.